Now, we stay in KwaZulu-Natal, where, of course, it's been a rough start for thousands of pupils because schools are closed due to the damage caused by the recent storms. However, in Mkhambathini Local Municipality, 11 schools kept their gates shut due to the ongoing clashes over the chieftaincy in the area. Our reporter Lethiwe Mdluli tracking that story for us this hour. Lethiwe, good afternoon. I understand there are a few schools that were not able to reopen today in Mkhambathini. Can you just unpack this issue for us? What's happening?
Well, Praten, it's been a rough start of the first day back in school here in KZN. We visited the Mkhambathini district earlier on, along with the Department of Education here in the province. We spoke to the MEC for Education, Kwazi Mshengu, and also the Deputy Minister in Education, Regina Mhaule, about some of the issues that the province is experiencing. Of course, there is storm damages, but now 11 schools under the Mkhambathini municipality have been affected by a local dispute over the local traditional leadership in that area. The area is known as Maqongo, and it falls under the Mkhambathini municipality. So we were there earlier, and things were very tense. Community members, when we arrived, they did not want to speak to us about exactly the problems that they are facing. But when we got there, some schools that we saw that are situated in Maqongo were closed. The gates had padlocks, and we understand that yesterday the Department of Education attempted to go to that area to see if they can fix some of those problems that the communities are relaying to them. But unfortunately, they received threats. We understand that teachers who were at one of the schools there called Umkoseleli High School, they were threatened and then they were made to leave the school. So as a result, the gates remain closed. We spoke to the MEC for Education earlier on about the issue of that place and about the issue of the pupils not being able to return to school. And he says they are trying to work around finding a solution for it, and they are hoping that by tomorrow the schools will be reopened. But we do understand that locals are calling for the local chief in that area, Lethiwe Mdluli, to be reinstated into his position. We understand that he was told to vacate his position around the year 2020, and since then the community has had numerous protests calling for his reinstatement. We do not understand exactly why he was told to vacate the office, but we do know that the community wants the Premier of the province to be the one to reinstate him. We, of course, are going to try and find more information as to why exactly this chief was told to vacate his office, and now the community wants him back in his seat. But while I spoke to the MEC for Education earlier on, this is what he had to say about the matter.
There is an area under Mkhambathini called Wanyafu. There are 11 schools which we have directed that they should not open so that we ensure the safety of educators, as the principals, as well as the learners. The problem there really has nothing to do with the Department of Education. It's a fight over chieftaincy in that area, but unfortunately it is spilling over to different sectors of society. You will recall that is the area where there was disruption even during the voting day. And after that, there were attacks to certain family members, leading to the loss of life and other families deciding to move out of the area. So yesterday, we woke up, all our 11 schools had been chained with padlocks, with notices that if you reopen these schools, there will be consequences. And some principals actually did open the schools, and then they started to receive anonymous calls to say, we see you and you will suffer the consequences. We then had to immediately direct that the schools be closed yesterday and today with the intention that we'll be working with the law enforcement agencies to ensure that there is stability in the area, at least so that we can guarantee the safety of the educators. We are intending to reopen the schools tomorrow because the security plan is unfolding as we speak.
Well, I hope the plan will succeed, Lethiwe. But I understand, of course, the schools, they're facing a number of challenges, including the damages caused by the storm. The Provincial Education Department, what are they saying they're going to do about that?
Well, there's a lot of schools that have been damaged, Braden, and as a result, money is needed to rebuild those schools. And we had a chance to speak to the MEC about that and also ask him exactly how many schools do need to be rebuilt. And he did say that around 18 schools do need to be rebuilt. And he is saying that they will need an amount of over 200 million rand for now. Those are the estimations. And I also spoke to the Deputy Minister in Education, Regina Mhaule, about the funds, because last year, the education department here in the province was saying that they do not have the funds to even hire teachers. They also had a problem with paying those teachers that were hired on a contract basis. So I was following that story last year, and the department was saying that they need national government to get involved and give them more money. And because of COVID-19, we do understand that some funds had to be moved from other departments. But the departments of education here in the province was saying that they are suffering from low funds. So I spoke to the Deputy Minister about providing the Departments of Education with more funds, and she did say that they are working on a plan to try and fix that issue. But the department, or the MEC rather, Braden, was saying that they need around 200 million rand to try and fix that damage. While speaking to him earlier, this is what he had to say.
Well, we need over 200 million to fix the schools that were affected just in this period of storms. And it's an amount that we have submitted to Treasury, but also the Premier's office, because we believe that the Premier's office must lead us in this instance, because we need more resources. You will remember that we still have to deal with the schools that were affected in the July unrest last year, but also with the backlog of schools that are yearly damaged by the storms, because almost every year in the past 5 years we have been experiencing damages as a result of the storms.